with some NFL players about when they get money, how to keep it. I think that's a trend anyways. A lot of guys are being smarter with their money, so. So I understand the stories. Now he's been jaded about money for a while now, but to me it's new. So I can tell you some of the things I went through, taxes, and for sure, those type of things. You don't think about it. You got $1 million, you think it's $1 million. No, you got about $600,000, maybe $500,000.
And they're paying taxes in each state.
They're paying the job tax. They don't even know that every single city you earn a check in, you're gonna.
Really?
I'm thinking, what are you thinking? I'm thinking ideally, we don't got to come up with it now, but either 6:30 at night or in the morning, I'm thinking.
I think 6:30 at night,
yeah. That's not good.
Let's do it, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what their schedule is, so.
Their schedule is my schedule.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I figured you had to make it.
But they've been told how great they've been their whole life.
Yeah.
And,
I know, trust me. Like my cousin, I have a cousin that was a soccer player whole life, and everything was given to him. How good he is, because he's an athlete.
Yeah.
You know, man. You hand walk through life.
100%.
And then they say, okay, here goes all the responsibilities.
And that's I don't know if you know him, Sean Oakman. He went through a whole thing. I did a Skype with him yesterday. I'll talk to you actually about that later. But it's kind of funny. It's a conundrum in a sense. You really don't want that football thing to define you.
No.
Because it puts you in a place to where you feel like you have to do things that you don't necessarily need to do.
That's right.
And so that was the kind of platform that I laid for him to understand, like, don't let this define you. Like, this is an opportunity. This is not forever.
It's a job.
It's a job. Maximize your opportunity. Understanding coming into this type of money allows you to do things that other 21 and 22-year-olds aren't able to do.
That's right.
And how do we do it how do we maximize it and how do we do it smart? So that's kind of, but even me saying that as simplistic as I just did, they're kids.
Yeah.
And I was the same kid that was.
And I'm gonna tell you, you need to set aside some money that you're just gonna absolutely blow. It's because you need to get it out your system.
Get it out your system.
You have to take $250,000 and just go.
It is what it is.
Go blow it, knowing that you're gonna pay crazy taxes on it, but you need to get that out of the system because you have to.
I'm ready.
How exciting.
What time we got? I got to get to these guys by 2:00. And so do you feel like this was like luck that you found this? Did you think it was God that you found this? Did you think it was hustle meeting opportunity?
Yeah, I don't really believe in luck.
Okay.
Like timing makes sense, right? Timing is very important in business. But I think it's just not giving up, because here I am at my 12th failed business. I'm like, yo, right? I can name it. I had lawn care service. I had 2 restaurants. I had a nightclub. I had a company called American Notary Solutions. I had a car lot. I can keep going. I just had.
So you're saying you're not supposed to win on the first try?
No, hell
Message.
No. Like, I hate it for all these guys now that are like tech funded companies that ain't never took a L. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm battle tested. So when it comes down to like when we face adversity, like, first of all, I don't hire anybody that hasn't faced adversity. Because when it get tough, those guys gonna scat on you. Right. Yeah, they ain't never been through anything. Like me and Vince, we have like a couple companies together. We probably do $4 million in rev on those 2 companies.
A little north of that, yeah.
Yeah, a little over $4 million. But he battle tested. He done been through the ups and downs. I've been through the ups and downs. So we know we're not gonna bail on each other because it's gonna get tough. Like, it has to get tough. I think you have to fail multiple times before you get to that point where it works. Because if you're successful first, it's gonna be bad. The downhill is gonna be crazy.
You ain't gonna know how to handle the downfall.
You ain't gonna know how to handle. I mean, we've all seen it. I mean, think about even in the short time, like think about athletes that came from high school, right? Small town, was always number one. Then they get to go play at a big school, and then they sitting on the bench, and then they go crazy.
Yeah.
They were like, yo, what happened? So imagine it going all the way to the NFL, and then you get that first big contract, and boom, then you broke. The worst feeling is having money and then not having it.
Amen.
I'd rather just be broke my whole life.
Never know.
Than never know, than to taste it and know you can't have it again.
Because once you taste it, once you're around it, I ain't going back. Because I want that. If you come from nothing and then you experience something, and then you don't want anybody around you to not have nothing. Right. Like and it don't matter if it's football, if it's real estate.
It don't matter.
Wherever you're getting your ends, it's honestly, man, and I'm so thankful for you being here, because at the end of the day, I feel like everybody in here is doing what they love or pursuing what they love, but it comes down to quality of life, my friends.
100%.
Quality of life.
He has this thing called free. So Vince, tell him your background a little bit.
Yeah, so my standard joke is I'm a recovering finance guy. It just means that, I worked on Wall Street for a bunch of years, worked in financial services, and did really well, but it wasn't really feeding my soul. I come from a line of entrepreneurs too. My grandfather was an entrepreneur, my dad was an entrepreneur. They didn't make a bunch of money, but they worked for themselves. I never saw my dad, when I was a little kid, but for most of his life, I never saw him punch a clock for somebody else. So that's just what I knew. And so eventually I made the leap as well. And so real estate's my full time. Now real estate software is a part of that, these companies that Max and I are talking about. But this notion of free is something, and I actually want to ask you guys to do something, if you don't mind, Antoine. I don't know if you have an agenda or...
Man, we're rolling.
This is a barbershop talk.
Yeah, we out here.
This ain't even no lecture. I think it's cool that Antoine even gave me the opportunity, and it was like, yo, let's just do this. But matter of fact, we was in New York when you asked me to just come down.
MSG, yep.
Yeah, but I think these conversations are needed, bro, because I wish I had somebody preempting me when I was gonna get somewhere to kind of give me just some basic ideas. Yeah. I'll never want nothing from y'all, ever in life. Like, if y'all make it big, the best ever, and so that's why, it's pure. My man don't work in financial services. Like, he don't never want to run your account or invest money. I don't never want to sell you nothing. I just want to see y'all, when you get it, keep it, and then make it generational. Yeah. Right? Because that's the big thing, is to be able to say, okay, I didn't get inherited anything. Nobody gave me nothing, but I have the opportunity to build something, and then I'm gonna build it so nice that it's gonna go to. I'll at least set it for my great grandkids or my grandkids. Yeah. After that, it's kind of it's up to them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So being able to build something that you can leave that's a legacy.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are religious at all, but the Bible says, a righteous man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, right? That's not just beyond you, that's for your folks. You dig? So just keep that stuff in mind. Another thing I just want to edify this man real quick is, he gets paid $25,000 to speak.
90 minutes, I'm in and out of a building, $25,000.
And he just came on a strength, you dig? I just want you to keep that in mind as you are building your circle and the people that you surround yourself with. When you think about who you're getting advice from, do the people who give you advice are they only doing it because they get something out of it? Mm-hmm. Right? So every once in a while you get somebody who just wants to sow into your life. Right?
And Vince, let me piggyback you real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't think about it. I said, hey, Max, man, I got this thing going on, da-da-da. Boom, picked this phone up, looked at a schedule. I'm good, 21st, 22nd. Boom. Yeah. Next day, I'm booking a flight. Like, first time I text him, text me back. Not even a minute went by. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with.
Absolutely. Your circle is everything.
You got it.
I want to ask you guys to do a quick exercise. We don't have a lot of pens, but if everybody could the pens that we do have.
Let's see here. We'll just take one piece?
Yeah, just take one piece and just draw 2 lines. So you got 3 Here's another pen.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So when you got those two lines, you now have 3 columns, basically. So we're going to label one personal, the first one personal. All right. The second one we're going to label career. And in that third column, let's label it family. And just literally like 60, 90 seconds, bro. Just think about the next 5, 10 years. I want you to project out what happens in each of those categories in the next 5 to 10 years. Just take 60 seconds. It ain't gotta be an essay, and it even gotta be full sentences. Just write down what the next 5 or 10 years look like in those different categories. Just like 30 more seconds. Just put a button on it. Just make sure you got something in each of the 3 columns.
You said you had bought a house first. You sold it. Or
Nah, so I didn't buy it. So what happened was, so they got this crazy, man, this is what I be telling, there's tricks out there that they don't be telling y'all. They don't tell nobody. You basically can go find a house and somebody owns that crib and neglected it, left it, whatever, and you can call them and get the house under contracts. But yo, I want to buy this house for $30,000. Right? Now there's another guy out there that makes a living by flipping these houses. Yeah. You call him and say, yo, I got a contract on this house. I want to sell you the whole house for $10,000. I mean, for $40,000. Mm-hmm. Essentially, because you got on a contract for 30, he said he gonna buy your rights. Because when you put a house under contract for 30 days, you have what they call equitable interest in the property. Which means for the next 30 days, that homeowner can't do anything with it because they promised you and you promised them that you're gonna buy it from them within 30 days. But you can assign the rights to that contract to somebody else. And you can say, yo, I assign my rights to this contract to you for the price of $10,000. So you give this man your contract, he gives you $10,000, he goes and closes on the property for 30, he goes and flips it, puts it on the market, makes his money. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I never put no money down.
That's crazy.
I never put no money down. So I was literally just went from like, I just found it off a hustle.
Yeah.
Right? We've all went past houses and like boarded up, or the grass is tall, we know it's a bando or something like that. And literally just put it under contract at a deep discounted price so that I can go to somebody else that you in the business of flipping houses. Like, yo, I got that house on Main Street. I got it for 30, I'll sell it to you for 40. Like, cool. It's money. It's just sitting money. So I didn't have no money. I didn't even have money. I had to go negative in my bank account to put gas in my car. But when I was driving in an old neighborhood I grew up in, I seen this house on the corner. I'll never forget it, 114 Flintfield Drive. And I literally found that lady, called her. She was like, yeah, I'll sell it. It was like $32,000. Whatever, I can't remember the exact number, but I still have the contract. And I put it on Facebook Marketplace to sell it for more than I had. And then I turned around and dude bought it for me, Greg Pontillo, never forget that. Him and his wife, $14,000 they gave me for that house. You talk about a breath of fresh air, I was like, you know what I'm saying? So if you got hustle, the only currency needed was hustle. I never bought, when I made $800,000, I didn't buy one property. I put it under contract and sold the contract to somebody else. And so now I have 14 employees that run my entire business. And that's what we do. And then I got a new 8,000 square foot office that we opening up when we get back. And that's gonna hold 80 to 100 employees. So now you're talking growing a $250 million company off of a hustle.
And y'all be in different states, in all different states.
Correct.
That's live. That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's just like, so you can take like a hustle and just turn it into something that's gonna be crazy.
So like what, cause I wanted to like at one point open up like McDonald's and stuff.
Yeah.
So like what failed with the restaurants?
And it was good failures because I learned about I learned payroll, I learned employees, I learned costs, like backing into the cost of a product, like to see like, yo, I want to make burgers, right? And then you say, well, what does a burger cost? Versus saying, hey, let's make an $8 burger. Well, what if the burger cost me $5? Or what if it cost me $7? Then the $8 burger don't make no damn sense.
Yeah.
But if I know the burger cost me $3.26, then I know how to appropriately price it. So I was thinking more off emotions than versus actually the numbers in your business. So that's just, every time I failed, I learned a lesson. Through that, it was like backing into the cost of an object and how to properly hire people. It's the worst part of any business you ever have is hiring people. people suck. People want money just for showing up. Real talk. So that's what I learned in the restaurant business. I still would get in the restaurant business right now. Absolutely. But McDonald's, when you buy McDonald's, you buy it into a system.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that shit. You see what I'm saying? They already thought about it for you.
So is that good money, like buying
Yeah,
the business?
I got a guy that own a black dude on 19 McDonald's in my city. I can text him right now.
That's long though.
19.
Somebody, his girlfriend, I think she dated his son, like, in middle school.
Probably.
Because she told me, she was like, yeah, my ex-boyfriend, like, his dad owned, like, a bunch of McDonald's, and they from Winston.
Yeah,
It's
gotta be him. It's the only black family that owns those McDonald's. On 19 McDonald's.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
That's crazy.
So and
What do you need to like open one? Don't you need like good credit, all that stuff? Or you don't even need good credit?
yeah, so it's credit and capital, right? So there's a story of one NBA guy that owns how many
I
Wendy's?
forget how many now, but yeah, Wendy's. He got a gang of. He got dozens of them.
Like 37 Wendy's. So it becomes a snowball, like and then you get financing for these things because you don't just own one.
Yeah.
You start with like one or two, and then somebody else that operates and says, "Y'all want to sell? I want to get out the business," and then you absorb his 6. You pick up 6 from him, but you got to be approved by corporate, right? So it's different, man. It's like it's a lot of crazy stories. Like if you look at you know Blaze Pizza, LeBron on that, right?
You do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I got one.
LeBron turned down the McDonald's offer to go do Blaze. And Blaze was a company that had 0 revenue at the time. It was like a new company. But he was like, yeah, I could build this. So
Let me ask you this, Max. Anybody that like comes from a humble beginning, did you feel as if there was a communication barrier that you had to overcome or get over in being able to make that transaction multiple consistent times?
hell yeah. Every day you have to invest into, how do I say this? Like being able to speak to people and being able to be a chameleon, right? And like what happens is we love comfortability so much that we'll stay in our circle of people that we are comfortable in. Period. It's just a natural thing. It's like for me, when I started stepping out of my boundaries, when I had no reason to be there, I would go to these high-end cigar bars and buy a $47 cigar that I could not afford, only to sit in the same room with a doctor and a guy that owned McDonald's and the sheriff of the county, right? Got no business. I can't afford this joint right here. I don't even know how to smoke it. I got to watch YouTube videos and learn how to smoke it, right? But I needed to be in that room with those people, right? So when they asked me what I did, I would say, I'm a real estate investor. Like, what? Yeah, I sell real estate. You want to buy something? Because I was flipping contracts.
Yeah.
Right? So I had to get around these people that were W-2 rich, that knew that they had to invest money into real estate in order to reduce their taxes. See, because when you start making money, you get smart accountants around you that tell you, yeah, you made too much money. You need to go buy 2 rental properties so that you can reduce your tax burden. Right? So like
They're gonna get you.
They gonna get you either way. They gonna get you. And I don't know what advisors the NFLs have. Well, he can tell you more to it because you've seen some clients.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some pro ball players as clients. So in a previous life, I was a financial advisor, basically working with people who had a lot of wealth, to manage it. But that's what I did in the previous life. NFLPA, they have a sanctioned program for agents. And Antoine can probably talk you through that a whole lot better than I can. But I think that he would agree that the general watchword is just be careful, right? The one thing I would tell you about people in that business, there are some good ones. There are some that have really good morals and really want the best for you, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, they are salespeople.
That's all they are.
I never, ever received a bonus for the level of performance of my clients. I never got a bonus because my client, their investments earned so much over the course of a year. I got bonuses, I got paid for selling them products.
That made the company money.
Yeah, you got to understand that. So it doesn't make them bad people, doesn't make them evil, but just understand the motives of the people that you're talking to.
Whenever you want to find a service or somebody that you want to hire, go to somebody you want to be like, right? Find somebody you like. Say you want to find an accountant, right?
Or a trainer.
You go find that guy that you want to be like that own the 19 McDonald's. Like, hey man, who you use for your account? Don't go ask other NFL players because they got no effing clue.
But that's your comfortability.
That's your comfort.
That's crazy because he was just telling us stuff. He was like, why would you go train with somebody who never played football or nothing?
Right.
Makes no sense.
That's crazy.
Right.
So you got to go somewhere where you feel, where you like, and then let me tell y'all this. So if you guys get the privilege, when you guys get the privilege to play in the NFL, right? You're amongst the top 1%. Let me tell you something, y'all know this already. Life ain't long up there,
Not for
right?
long.
So everybody should have what they really want to be, right? So like, you really don't want to be an NFL athlete. That's just a stepping stone or a financial windfall to get to where you want to be. So while you're playing in the NFL, go find that person that you want to be when you leave, and use that you play in the NFL, that you got these damn shorts that say NFLPA and these sweat, because what happens if you use that, even if you don't play a down, go use that you're on the roster to go to that dude with the McDonald's and say, hey man, you know, I play in the NFL. First of all, they're gonna be real receptive to you. Oh man, great. Hey man, can you teach me about the restaurant game? He'd be ecstatic to go back and tell his friends at the cigar bar, in the first class lounge, at the country club, that he got an NFL player as a mentor, as a mentee. So use it to your advantage while you have it. Because and he gonna give you free game that you can never pay for.
And that was one of my biggest mistakes and regrets. I had to recreate my network. I had to recreate my wealth. When I was playing, I was surrounded by nothing but millionaires and people giving me attention, and I took no advantage of none of it and bought things. Like, this is what you see in those who have been to my house. That is not from the NFL. That is after the NFL. And that was one of the worst mistakes I feel like I made, to have that capital, that network, and that accompaniment of people around me, and not take advantage of it for my own stability outside of the sport, because it's right in front of you. So that's basically, stay woke. Stay woke.
Everybody wants to be near a ball player.
They
Take
love
advantage
it.
of it. They love it.
Why you think you go to NFL, like the NBA games? You know how much some seats cost on the floor for the whole season?
Just to be close.
I went to go buy some seats for the Charlotte Hornets, right? You know they terrible, right? Floor seats was $56 grand for the year. Yo, they win like 8 games. I went to the Knicks game the other day. Floor seats I paid $7 grand for a floor seat.
For one day.
For 90 minutes, I think it was. I went to the Wizards game the other day, and I don't even watch these shits. I don't even watch football. I went to it was $3,000 or $4,000 for the Wizards floor seats. And I'm like, yo, how these guys is paying? But that just shows you that they just want to be next to you. I'm sitting next to one guy, he owned 32 car dealerships in Virginia. I'm like, golly. You know what I'm saying? So that's who the guys that come to watch y'all play. So you think if they don't spend the money to sit in the seat front row, if that you gave them, dap them up, man, what you do? Oh man, I own car dealership. That's cool, man. Let me get your number. Not to buy no car. Teach me about the car dealer game.
That's right.
Maybe I get me a franchise or something.
Let me interject.
If you guys don't mind, maybe just read a couple of things in each of your categories. You want to start top of the table, my man?
I said personal. I said being a great father and husband, owning the house, land, being happy. Career, I said having a great NFL career, getting family business as organized and situated.
Yeah.
Family, I said just make sure they taken care of, and just seeing my mother with her grandkids, you know, my kids and stuff like that, you know, just happiness.
I can dig it, my man.
Personal, I ain't writing nothing, but personal, so I'm trying to, like, for right now, like, I'm trying to get in the best shape I can be to dominate Pro Day, to get on somebody's roster. So that way I can have a stepping stool to, you know what I'm saying, start some business off, you know what I'm saying, and feed my family. And for career, I'm trying to get into camp, make a team, make a roster, and for family, raise my son, be the best father I can be, and be something different in my family.
Mine, I had become a rich man in like more than just like monetary ways, you know what I'm saying? Like like just for example, like I didn't think like this is gonna be what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like actual knowledge that.
Yeah.
Because I've always been the kind of person like kind of write stuff off at times, but like whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this is stuff that like I actually like am taking in and I really appreciate. And then also the growing faith. That's another personal goal I have, and then career, just career-wise, but just playing the NFL, sustain a decent career, and then for family, I put start a family, and then be able to take care of my parents because they're getting a little older now, so
Yeah.
I want them to be able to just kick back. You know, they last, I ain't gonna say last few years because that's not fucked up. But you know, their later half of their years.
Yeah.
Oh man, what the next 5 to 10 look like for you?
Married, kids, 10 million sitting in the bank account. Career, played in the league, Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame, own 2 businesses, diverse portfolio. With my family, we own businesses, generational wealth, financial freedom, traveled across all the countries, all the continents.
My man, next 5 to 10, what they look like for you?
Personal, I put owning my own trucking business.
Yeah.
Career, I put NFL, family, you know, together and stronger than ever. I got a little girl, you know, and a girlfriend, so.
Awesome. My man over here.
Family, I just said, make sure my parents are in a good position. You know, they help me out. I want to help them out if I can. So maybe I'll have a girl who knows about that. Personal, I said personal. I said just want to be financially stable. Want to be able to be investing in my retirement, stocks and bonds and all that, building my portfolio, just becoming a better man. And then for career, so playing NFL and using my degrees to the fullest.
Yeah. Those are awesome. The thing that's notable to me, though, as I listen to all of them, as you guys project out the next 5 or 10 years, I don't hear about any injuries. I don't hear about any illnesses. I don't hear about any deaths in the family. I don't hear about any businesses going belly up.
It happened.
Right? So as you guys are thinking about your future, I encourage you to think positive, but I asked you to project what does the next 5, 10 look like. All I heard was positive. If I asked you to look back 5 or 10 years, who had a death in the family? Who had some illness in the family? Who had some financial hardship? Right? So that we all do that. That's not just you. We all do that. When we think forward, we think about nothing but the good. But what these brothers are trying to get you guys to prepare for and think about is the totality of life, which unfortunately for all of us includes some downtime. We want you to prepare for those rainy days, right? So it's just a little bit of a vantage point shift. You know, it's very easy to get caught up in the, here's what I want to happen. We want you to think like that. We want you to hope for that, but we want you to plan for what is likely to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of this game, it's crazy. A lot of what we can unlock is just right here.
Right.
Like it's crazy because so I talk about this when I do like when I go out around and speak. Like your brain is developed by the most, I think it's 10 people you hang around with till you get to a certain age, and that's what your brain becomes, right? So like you really got to challenge the way you think and all that stuff. Like your brain is made of neurons, right? And these neurons fire off and communicate with each other. That's how you do your daily things, right? You know, what happens is if you do something every day or you hear something every day, your mind then starts to accept that as reality and just does it in your non-conscious part of your brain. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know if you guys take the same route somewhere every day for the last few years, but have you ever gotten in the car and drove somewhere, say like you left work and then next thing you know, you're in the driveway at home, and you had no thought or make a left turn, right turn, get on the highway. You had no thought in between that. So that's your neurons in your brain firing off at the same time, like to each other. So because it's a continuous thing you do every single day, it just connects an Ethernet cord between the 2 neurons because they know that you're gonna do that every day, right? So this becomes a program. It becomes a non-conscious thought for you to just do that. And that happens with anything. How you tie your shoes, how you talk to people, everything. And what happens is in order to break that, you gotta have like an opposite thought to challenge this neuron thing every time. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to really just challenge the way, like you have to, it's cool because the way I did it was like maybe everything I've learned from now to 31 was a lie. So let me just go around and everything I do, at least just think about it to see if there could be another way to do it or was another way to do things. You know what I mean? And when you start doing that, you start to open up different sections of your brain and you just like, yo, I'm gonna do this different today, or instead of doing it this way, I'm gonna think something crazy. It's just small things. I know this sounds like crazy, but I'm telling you, it works. Like your brain is the most powerful crazy thing. If you could change the way you think about stuff, it'll open up sections in you that's just like amazing. Amazing. Just understand this, man. If you guys can get to the NFL, right? Even to get to college and play in the D1, you're the top 1% of high school athletes in the nation. Period. To get to the NFL, you're the top 1% of college athletes in the nation. Period. You're not just a top 1% athlete, because it takes more than just like physical stature and speed and strength to become an athlete. You had to challenge your brain to do that extra sprint, to do that extra to be quick on your feet. So you already have this brain power, but you think right now it's only good for football. Like, you are great. Listen, I know y'all all play Pop Warner football. How many of your Pop Warner friends is at this position right now? None, right? None. How many of your Pop Warner friends how many of your Pop Warner friends are training for Pro Day?
Right.
None. Think about that. None. So carry that on into everything you do. I'm telling you, bro, y'all don't even know, like, you're 1%.
He telling you to know your worth.
Yeah.
You're 1%.
I didn't mean to take it away from the dialogue thing. I do want you guys to chime in. I guess the last thing I would say, just to put a finer point on that, I used to run recruiting in my office. I worked for Prudential in Manhattan. I used to run recruiting, do all the hiring. We love nothing better than hiring high-level athletes. It's got nothing to do with athletics.
Got that drive.
They got that drive. If I saw somebody play D1 ball, call them in. They might even skip a round or two in the interviews. We might bump them to what they call Super Friday, because we know that that's a special cat.
Yeah, you're already at 1%, but you don't know.
You don't know it, but we know. We look for that. And it's not just football, it's tennis. Anybody who played at a high level, we want to talk to them. Bring them in. Right? So carry that with you, like you said, beyond the field into everything that you do.
I could talk all day, but like you said, if y'all got questions, this is more like a discussion. I don't want to just be me rambling.
When you was going through, like, you feel me, your tough times and stuff like that, you know, you move back in with your peoples and stuff like that, what was your mindset? What was you thinking? Was you thinking off the rip, I got to get back in, I got to go make this money, you feel me? Or did you get down on yourself? Like, how'd you respond?
I was depressed.
Yeah.
I was depressed. And I was like, why me? Why now? Why is it I am 30-something years old, I can't figure this out? And I'll be honest, for like 2 weeks, I was like just down in the dumps. Like, snap out of it. Like, ain't nobody gonna come knock on your door and pat you on the back and give you $100 grand and tell you, here you go, boo-boo, start over. I had to go get it. You know, my man Lynch says, when they buried me, they didn't know I was a seed. So you gotta go through those dark times to be able to grow. We all been through it. You gonna go through it again. And I'll probably go through it again too. I'm prepping for the day I lose everything. It's gonna suck. But when I bounce back, watch out.
So when you did, you was talking about that first deal you did where you got 14,000. So is it, if you, in those 30 days, if you hadn't found someone, you would have to end up paying that 30,000?
Nah, because there's a clause in the contract that gives you like a 15-day inspection. Now I do a 10-day and I pay for it. Like, so in any real estate contract, there's usually two pieces of money that move up front. One is you're gonna have a due diligence period, which I pay $100 for now, right? So you go from I paid $0 then to $100 now. So literally I'm paying for 10 days of due diligence, which means I'm gonna do my research. And then there's another few dollars that goes to the attorney to start the title procedure. It's called open up escrow. what happens is I put 10 days in there, but I know my network already. I know I'm gonna know in 5 days if I got a deal or not. And if I ain't got it, I call the homeowner and say, look, hey, I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna call and say, hey, listen, I made a mistake. I missed this repair. You know, it's $20,000. I'm not expecting you to, you know, give me a $20,000 discount, but how about you just meet me in the middle at 10? And now I can go back to that same guy and say, okay, man, here goes a better price. Or I just got to call and cancel it. And you're all within your well right of doing so.
So then if you're someone, say I want to go out and do it and I don't have a network, has it ever crossed your mind to maybe go out and find like someone that's wanting to flip houses first? Like,
yeah.
And find them first before you.
Yeah. Typically when people ask that, they do it out of fear that they would miss, like, and don't worry about that, right? Because here's the reality. How many of y'all got 100,000 right now? Nobody, right? Cool. It's cool. Not you. But let's just say I pull up outside with an S550 2020 Mercedes-Benz. It's about 80, 90 racks. And I'd be like, I pull up, like, yo, Antoine, me and my wife getting a divorce. I need to sell this car next Friday because I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going to go live in Vegas. I'm going to give you this car for like $50,000, man. I just need cash. Even though you ain't got the money and you know that car worth 100, and he said he wanted Friday, what you going to say?
You're going to figure it out.
I got to get that.
Yeah.
You say, yeah, man, I'll meet you here Friday. Let's sign that paperwork. You can't even put windshield wiper fluid in that damn car. But you know it's worth 100, and my man said, come meet me Friday with 50. So you say, yo, first thing you're gonna do is, logic sense is, let me go to the guy that sells used Mercedes-Benz cars. Let me run to him real quick. Like, yo, I got this S550 2020. You want it for 60? I can't give you 60, but I give you 55. So there you go. Go hit another dude up. Yo, I take that 55. You go see your man on Friday, give him his 50, you take the 5. My man drive off in the car, he wash it up, clean it up, put it on the lot for $75,000. That's how it works. Because what happens is people that invest in the properties or invest in these things, they have to do it. That's how they make their money. Did you know a bank has to loan money? If they don't loan money, they don't make any money. So a bank has to approve a certain amount of loans. See what I'm saying? So you have to understand, when you realize that money is not a limited thing, that is everywhere and everybody has it. And then you have different type of guys. Like we stopped finding flippers and we went after, like, I might go to somebody like Antoine. Antoine, I know you gotta pay a tax bill this year. Go ahead and buy this little rental right here, 75 grand. My man gonna pay you $1,000 a month in rent, you know. And then now he bought that rental off of me or something, and he gonna go fix it up or whatever it is. I'll sell it to you for 55. You put 20 in it. Here you go, man. So you can find these people everywhere, and I guarantee within your circle of people you already know, you just never asked the question. You just never be like, yo, you know anybody that buy real estate? Yeah, my uncle, he got like 10 houses. You know, you just never know.
There's more money than there are good deals.
Perfect example.
Period. If you have a good deal, you will get it moved. So, like, don't go into it with a fear mindset, which is what he was talking about. You'll get it moved.
We do about 110 deals a year now, 110, 120 deals a year. I've never had to cancel a contract in the last 2 years. I should tell you. So 200 plus deals, and I've never been able to not find a buyer. We sell them in less than 24 hours most of the time. We do an email and a text message blast, and then they're gone.
That's those apps you was talking about in one of your podcasts?
Like
the top 7 apps that you use?
Yeah, well, I own 2 of them. We own 2 of them.
Ours, yeah.
2 of them are ours, but yeah, in there, yeah. Just apps, and then, you know, just driving for dollars. A friend owns a deal machine app where we can take a picture of a house that's abandoned, and it sends them a postcard.
Dope app.
So how do you, like, start to develop an app? Like, what is it, like, obviously I know, like, it becomes an idea first, but, like, where does it kind of go from there, though?
An idea, and then you find either one, money, or somebody that knows how to develop an app that believes in your idea, and y'all become co-founders of a company. And he takes that idea and turns into an MVP, which is a minimal viable product, which is like the skinny bones of what can work. So then you can take it to somebody like Antoine and be like, yo, I got this new fitness app. Here's what it does. Antoine says, yo, I'm gonna write you a check for $150, go build it out.
Oh, this is fun. Don't we all like this? We're learning, we're building. This is great. I'm very excited right now, I gotta be honest.
Explain that subject to me a little more.
Yeah. So this is an advanced, subject to is an advanced investing strategy. I just bought a house subject to 2 Fridays ago. All right, so this house is worth about $205,000. The lady is getting a divorce. She's 8 months pregnant, and it's like a few days before Christmas. She ain't got no money. She's 3 months behind on the mortgage. So they're gonna start the foreclosure process. She has a balance of 108,000. Remember, it's worth 205. So let's just say 105, 205, right? It's worth 205, but it needs work. It needs like 15 grand in work. Matter of fact, we dropping this video of this house sometime this week, right? So what happened was, like I said, this is an advanced strategy. She needed some money. She needed 25,000. So I gave her 25,000 and she moved. Now I got this house that's worth 205,000 that she only owes 105, but that I need to do 20,000 in work for it to be worth 205. So 205, 20, I'm at 125 all in for a house that's worth 205. Now here I can do two things. Now, obviously this involves I got money now, right? So I really got 50 grand into a house that's worth 200,000 that I have 75,000
Left. Yeah.
in equity, right?
Yeah.
So I can do two things. The PITI, which is the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, which is what equals a mortgage payment, right? So whenever you buy a house and you get a mortgage is considered of principal, taxes, interest, and insurance. I said it in the wrong order. PITI. But principal is the actual amount of money you borrowed. The interest is what it costs you to borrow. The taxes is what the county charges you to have the property in the city. And the insurance is so that if the house ever burns down, the bank will get the money from the insurance company. So those things is what equal a mortgage payment. So the mortgage payment was $865, right? I can rent that house out for $1,500. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So in reality, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I took 50,000 and I can create a positive cash flow of around 500 a month. Mm-hmm. Or I can take 50,000 and make 50,000. It just depends if I want a short-term asset or a long-term asset. Now, what I did is I sold it to an employee in my company at what I got it for, so they can have a nice house. Okay. That's what I ended up doing with it.
Do you have, what am I trying to say, a particular strategy, or are you case by case?
Case by case, because we're just problem solvers. So when you call me, I got to assess what's going on. I'm like a general practitioner doctor. When you call me and you start telling me your symptoms, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I got this for that. Mm-hmm. You know, it could be something else. Oh, I got this for that. You know, you running, you need money fast, boom, I'm gonna get it for cash. You know, everybody's got different scenarios played out.
No, basically what I'm saying is, so if I'm trying to, I'm put in a particular situation where I'm gonna get $1,500 for rent, I'm actually paying at that, like, as opposed from renting or trying to get the 50,000 back. Is there a strategy to that?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. So when you talking about when I exit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes down to taxes.
And there's the sliding scale of what that is.
Yeah, so
on the
it depends,
property.
right? So it depends. So like, what happens is you have different buckets in life, right? So you have this cash producing bucket, which is taxed heavily, mm-hmm. and then you create this tax sheltered passive income, which is taxed low and creates passive, right? So when you guys get to the NFL, your money that you make is taxed heavily.
40%.
Plus jock tax on each state you make money in.
Don't go to San Francisco.
Yeah, you're gonna get hit in the head. So go if they give it to you. But
don't go to no, y'all taxes is bad.
I'm going home. Take that.
So what happens is you want active income and then you want passive income. Passive income typically is going to give you a tax relief. Active income is a tax burden. You kind of want the tax relief thing over here to kind of balance out and outweigh to where you don't pay any taxes. That's what Trump does, right? So Trump, what happens is, let me get real detail real quick. All right. So when you have a rental property, let me see something real quick. When you have a rental property and you're making, let's just say cash flow positive $500 a month, right? So 500 times 12, that's $6,000 a year, right? So you're making $6,000 a year cash flow positive in your money. That's like, yo, people like, that's not a lot of money. Get 50 in them joints and see what that's not a lot of money. But then, let's just say that property is worth $200,000, right? Just like that property, that's the thing I just told you. So typical, if you just do typical real estate deductions, right? $200,000, just saying the actual property is worth that, divided by 27.5 years. Each year, I get to take off $7,272 off my taxes, right? So I'm making 6, plus the government says I can write off 7. So that property is really giving me $13,000. Now, what that means is, for example, let's just say you went to go pick up a game check for $7,000, right? This deduction you got over here will make you pay no taxes.
Say that again.
Yeah. So what happened is, so like what happens is, say you went to go pick up a game check for $7,000. And then you own this house, this piece of real estate as well, that's giving you real money in your pocket. Don't forget, this is real cash. But Uncle Sam says you also, because you're a so great person and you get the right, and you supply housing for people, we're gonna give you a tax deduction. You can write off $7,000 of income into your thing. So say you go pick up a $7,000 game check, and then you got this rental property all year. That game check, you don't pay no taxes on it. So what happens is you got active income, right, in this bucket, and then you got passive. And what happens is you want this to kind of equal this, so that, so you make $1 million in a year, you want to have a tax write-off of $1 million a year. So if I just told you one of these properties, a $200,000 property, right, will give you that much. And this is your standard deduction. They got this thing called hyper deduction, where you probably double that almost. But let's just say it's 7,500. Let's do $1 million divided by 7,500. So you need 133 houses or apartment doors, right, so that you can get a tax break of. And if you make $1 million playing NFL, you pay 0 taxes. You actually made $6,000 off every single one. So you got real money, and then the government says, for being so nice, we're gonna give you a deduction. So it cancels each other out. So you can make $1 million and never pay taxes. So you can imagine how much property Trump owns to never pay taxes on probably, how much active income do you think he makes?
Him?
Yeah.
Probably not much.
Yeah, he probably don't make much active income. What that means is like going out and actively working and making money. Yeah. He probably don't have much of that. So he pays 0 taxes.
The presidency.
Well,
that's it.
Well, he
$400 for that.
Yeah, he's gonna make his money right here, right? In the passive apartments or the Trump Towers, or leasing his name out to people that build the buildings. He won't pay no taxes. I don't care what you say. That's smart.
And go back and watch the video when this comes out, if some of the details escape you, because it's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, this is a lot just throwing at y'all right now.
But the big thing that you should definitely take away is that the way this country, the way our financial system is set up, is that we give advantages to money that's earned from assets. So labor, whether it's your labor or somebody else's that works for you, is never going to get the same advantage that income is earned from capital, a capital asset, whether it's property, whether it's stocks. If you have a stock that pays you dividends, those dividends get preferential tax treatment.
Yeah, you pay no FICA on it. You pay no
FICA on it.
You know what FICA is? Unemployment tax.
How you find all that out though?
Bro. No, and that's funny. No, that's a good question. All they tell you to go out is go make money, right? They don't tell you this whole other side. So the first time I had to write a 6-figure check to the government, I said, I need some education. This ain't right. You know what I can do with this money I'm about to give you? And they don't play, they want it all at once. They don't break it up. So you gotta write a check. My first biggest check I ever wrote was to the government. My biggest check I ever wrote at that time was to the government. So when you see that, you say, yo. So then, like if y'all was my friends and just say we was just chilling, I can't hang around y'all no more. Cause y'all can't help me with this. I gotta go to the cigar bar. Yeah. I gotta go sit with my man over there that owns 19 McDonald's and say, yo, who you use for a tax accountant? Oh, I use this dude over here. Can I get his number? I'm talking to him. Now he's telling me all this stuff. And I remember, listen, all I wanted to do was make money. They didn't tell me about all this other stuff. But back to what we were saying is, anytime you make active income, you pay what they call Social Security, you pay FICA.
All of that, yeah.
And you pay unemployment. So that's why your tax rate, so I think it was 21% right off the top.
Off the break, yeah, but if in your bracket, you guys are gonna be 37% marginal tax bracket.
So that means for every dollar you make, they take 37 cents.
Oh, you getting it.
So if you make, and that's just on top, it's just.
Yeah, so it's a graduated scale. So the first little bit of your money, you guys are gonna make so much more money at the bottom of that scale doesn't really matter. Effectively, you guys are all gonna be paying 30+% on the active income that you make. You get hosed.
Every $100 you make, you give the government 35 of it.
Think about it like that.
So
you're still going to get a check back, but the money you put in on taxes on an NFL season, it's not even comparable.
Right, so say if I'm in the league and I own houses.
When you get to the league.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
and you own houses, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why, is because you need to get with somebody that's going to, get you the houses cheap.
I need your number too.
You know what I'm saying? Get you the houses cheap. So what happens is you're going to get real income from the rental property you buy, but you're also going to get a tax deduction. So what happens is you get to keep more of your money, but you get this real money coming in from rentals. And what happens is property appreciates. Yeah. And if you buy it correctly, it should appreciate a lot. Yeah. Right? So I'm never going to buy a $100,000 house for 100. The most I'll ever pay for it is 70. The most. What I typically pay for it is 50. You know what I mean? So you just got to understand, one of the best assets you can own that's going to help you with your taxes when you're making money in the NFL is property. Emmitt Smith owns apartment complexes. Hell yeah, he built them too.
My Doomerville, he's my rookie roommate, bought 300 homes, Haitian in Miami. He's making more money now than he made in the NFL.
Of course,
there you go. Of course.
Of course, and he paying less taxes.
Yeah.
And his life is stress-free. He ain't got no bunions on his feet. He ain't got to pick up no
ice baths,
nothing.
And he was also able to set up, in doing so, he was able to set up a foundation for Haitian retreat just by doing that, because that was his descent. But he did that by real estate.
So how you find these houses though?
Surround yourself with some people. Hit me up, bro. Hit me up. Surround yourself with some people that's gonna put you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Don't worry about too much of the details, but you find them like how I find them. I put people out there that's doing it, but you got what I would, and I know the NFL is so demanding, but when y'all have off time, still be students.
Yeah.
Right? Don't put money somewhere where you don't understand it 100% yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to really understand what you're doing, because I want you to be able to take this to the next level. Don't just spend the money because your accountant says you need to spend it. I want you to be educated about this. And it's not long. It's not going to take you a long time.
How long did it take you to get as educated as you are now about, you feel me, this business?
It's been 3 years.
So 3 years?
Yeah.
That fast?
Yeah, I was broke 3 years ago. My story about me living in my mom's house was 3 years ago.
So after you got that first property off, you just went crazy.
I went ham. Yeah, because I'm like, it was like, somebody was like, I sat down. It was like this. I went to the attorney's office. I sat down.
So you need attorney before you do all this?
Well, not before you don't know. Attorney is who closes property in North Carolina. Some states are title companies. We're attorney states. So attorney did for the buyer paid for everything. He went in there. It was all done. Everybody shook hands, and the attorney was like this. And I opened that envelope. I was like, and I was like, I couldn't sleep. It was so bad, I had to wear a guard in my mouth at night, like a mouthpiece, because I would grind my teeth because my body wanted to rest, but my mind was like, let's go.
Time to go get it.
Let's go get it. So my mind went, say I was sleeping like 4 hours a night.
Waking up getting to it.
Everybody gonna sleep. That's your that's one of your advantages.
Yeah.
Because and many people have said this, and it is cliche. It don't matter how much money you make. Time.
Once you make a certain amount of money, the rest of it don't even make no sense no more. Yeah. You start doing it because you're addicted to the hustle. But you know what, man? I think now this day and age, the new athletes are smarter. I think y'all smarter. I mean, you look at Gronk. You know, Gronk never spent none of his NFL money. Not a dime.
That's gangster.
That's crazy, right? And then you got, what's the cat in Boston that I think he plays up basketball in Boston, Celtics or something? He ain't touched. He live off of like $40,000 a year. So, you know, I think the athletes now are getting smarter because what happens is I think Gronk retired at 30. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, how many players have we seen from I remember when I was watching football, a few people from the San Francisco 49ers was like, yo, I'm good, I'm done.
Yeah.
It was like, what, you 28? Nah, I'm good, I got 100 mil. You know, that's what you want to walk again. You want to gracefully walk away from the game. Yeah. And not be a story like T.O. or anybody else where the game forces you out or injury forces you out. You just gonna come in the locker room one day and be like, yeah, I ain't putting these pads on no more. I'm done. Done. I got my money. What am I doing this for? Mm-hmm. And that should be your goal. But what happens is every day you're so intuitive about what's going on outside of the field. You know, once you cement it in the NFL and you talking to the guy that owned 19 McDonald's, you start to realize what you can do outside of that. You know, it's like time for dollars. Yeah. And then you start to say, yeah, man, I can make I can get 10 McDonald's right now. And listen, I think it's a reason why they don't give you guys this type of talk when you get to the NFL, because it's a true empowerment.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's dangerous to them, because if you broke or you live above your means, or you live in game to game,
you need them.
Mm-hmm. But when you start to level up in your mind and start hanging with different people, I would challenge you when you get to that locker room, hang out with your teammates, but take advantage, like I said, of being an athlete and go hang out with other people. Just go hang out, go hang out with him and go hang out with Sean, the PBR CEO, and just kind of, I don't know him like that, but just kind of find people and just pick their brains and just kind of understand what the way they thinking.
You guys have a talent that 99.9% of the population just don't have.
They
can't get out there and do what you do. So that's why you should go get that bag while you can, because you got a gift. I'm just saying that when you take the cleats off, you actually have a way better chance of building wealth off the field.
Look, you can do it really with the cleats on.
Correct. Just gotta, because y'all do have a lot of downtime. I'd say I truly believe the players these days are a little bit more conscious.
So yeah.
No, it's more than what it was, but it still ain't, the number ain't high.
Yeah, it ain't high enough to make the impact.
So when it comes to, this may be more for a question for Vince,
Yeah.
because in the financial industry. So when it comes to investing and you make money not only from dividends, but from selling stocks and bonds and like that,
Right.
are there loopholes like that off the money you make that you can kind of get it not taxed?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, again, and this is more of a political conversation that we could have over a beer or something. This country, this financial system privileges capital over labor. So what you're talking about, like if you sell a stock, that's called a capital gain. If you sell it after less than a year, that's a short-term capital gain. If you sell after more than a year, it's a long-term capital gain. You get beautiful tax treatment. It's even better now thanks to our president. Think what you want about him. He did lower taxes for people like us and eventually you, right? Yeah. So that's one thing. Number two is to buy these assets in a tax-privileged account like an IRA.
Which I do.
Right? Which he does a lot of. He's actually one of the best at it. Get yourself a self-directed IRA.
Kill it. When he done, I'll tell y'all the power. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is really he's a beast about using his self-directed. So an IRA is just, you guys may have heard mom or grandma talking about IRA like it's an investment. It's not really an investment. It's just a bucket.
It's called an individual retirement account.
Yeah, that's what it stands for.
means.
But it's just a bucket. You can put anything in there. You can put stocks in there, mutual funds, bonds, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But what happens is the things that are in that bucket are growing tax deferred. You're not paying taxes on it this year or next year or the year after that until it's time to retire.
So they got this thing called self-directed IRA, right? So IRA, so I think in 1970s,
Yeah.
they came out and was, okay, we realize people are not spending their, like, the economy can't do good enough where you can do better than your job can do. So they allowed people to go get individual retirement accounts, and then they're called self-directed, which means you get to direct where the money goes. And then they got a checkbook IRA. Literally, it's an account with a checkbook that you can invest in the things that if you win on it, you don't pay any taxes on as you win. So remember I was telling y'all about the deals where I only put like $100 down, right? So what I'll do is, so if you just a cash contribution in an individual IRA, you only can put $6,000 a year. So I only can take $6,000 in my pocket and put it in there. That's all. But you can grow unlimitedly. Only two things you're not allowed to invest in. What is it? Collectibles and gold coins.
And you also can't put your personal home in there.
And you can't put your personal home in there.
Alcohol.
And alcohol.
maybe
All that,
license too,
yeah.
yeah.
So what happens is I take that $100 from the contract and I write it from my IRA, right? I take that $100 from my IRA from the contract, right? Because I know what I'm gonna turn that $100 into. Remember my first one, I turned into $14,000. So when I know I'm about to make a home run deal and I'm about to get like a $30,000, let's just say a $30,000 deal off $100, I'll pull the $100 out of my self-directed IRA and invest it into a contract. That's an investment. Knowing that I'm gonna sell it to you and make a $30,000 profit. So what I just did is I turned $100 into $30,000 tax-free. And I put that $30,000 plus the 100 into my IRA. And then I go out and do it again.
So you don't gotta pay no taxes?
No taxes. Any gains you get, you don't pay it until you're
60.
To when you're ready to pull it out. This is a piggy bank that just multiplies like crazy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So now you build that thing up, and then you can say, all right, well, I'm gonna take $300,000 and I'm gonna go buy into an apartment complex. And now all the money, the rent generated from this goes right into your IRA. Every month. Boom, 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 boom. It's adding up. And then when they sell the building, you put 300 in, just say you get 450. So all the rent plus your 300 plus the 150 capital gain go back in that joint. I've seen guys grow an account in 7 years to $18 million. Tax free.
Quick anecdote to this point. I don't know if y'all remember a couple of presidential cycles ago, Mitt Romney, it came under a little bit of fire because he's really, really wealthy. They showed he had an IRA.
Yeah.
His IRA had like $80 million in it. And if you look at what I just told my man, you can only put, $56,000 in a 401k.
So they said, how the hell you
how the hell you get $80 million in IRA?
He
Like
did
this.
that.
Like this.
People that would invested into like Facebook, they took it out from their individual IRA, that retirement account, and wrote the $100,000 check to Facebook when they first started. That $100,000 check returns $200 million, tax free.
But you can't touch it till you're 60.
You can touch it if you want.
You just gonna go ahead.
You're gonna pay penalties on it, and then so other accounts can do other things. So like a 401k, you can borrow 50% of your 401k for 5 years with no penalty.
Right.
Right. So if you had you can have a
It's an in-service distribution. We could talk you through all of that. There's ways to make it work.
Just go get that bag first,
Get that
and
bag,
just know
yeah.
don't spend it. Go see somebody else that got a bag outside of the NFL. Be like, yo, what you be doing? And just learn how they play with their money.
Cool beans, man.
Y'all record this whole thing? I'm talking
Nah, I still got one more. So if we wanted to get started right now, what would be the best way to do it, knowing that we, like our schedules, you know what I mean, how we kind of busy, but we wanted to get started knowing that we going to be able to get to a different bag and really be able to push it to another level.
Yeah. Here's what I will say. It is a demanding thing because it's a hustle. What I would do is just get kind of educated in it, but also maybe take some action. Like when you go home, go find a house. And then we'll show you how to go on the website and find out who owns it and get their number. Ask them if they want to buy it.
Man.
Did you like read books and stuff too?
I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Have y'all ever read that?
I heard of that.
I heard of it.
It's not
Cop that.
dope book, right? It's a dope story. And then I would read Richest Man in Babylon. And then I know you probably got some. Richest Man in Babylon.
Another one, I know we getting close on time.
Yeah, no, go ahead. You got
His belly grumbling.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say is same guy who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad wrote one called Cash Flow Quadrant.
That's another one too. That's the second.
Cash Flow Quadrant is amazing because it talks about going from a labor mentality, making money just from employment income, to being self-employed, to being a business owner, to eventually living off of investments, to where your investments, what he's showing you, is how you generate all your income to sustain your lifestyle.
It means you never pay FICA. It means you never pay unemployment tax.
Have you heard of this Principles?
Oh yeah. He got right now because he did that interview with Diddy. But we been read that. I got Principles on mine.
I haven't got it. I haven't. I'm on it. That's my to-do. You guys want to get some pictures, something real quick? I know you want to flex a little bit here.
So what's up, man?
So how you doing, man?
Doing good, man.
Good.
So you work in the airport, or you just coming through?
Yeah, so I manage the Enterprise, National, and
Okay.
out here. So I manage all three brands for rental cars.
So you be good for this type of stuff, man. Like I say that because I know some people that have worked in Enterprise, and I know that you have to go up in the ranks. This is like a family-owned company. You go in there, so a lot of it is about customer service, and that's what this business is about, man. Like everything we do is about solving problems, right? So it's like. And you do the same thing. There's a lot of stuff. I'm sure you got angry people.
Every day.
You gotta know how to de-escalate. You gotta know, let's get to the root of what the problem is and solve it. Let's keep moving.
Right.
That's dope, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
And you say you pursuing your real estate degree.
Yeah, I'm midway through. Like, if I go to my notes, most likely it's still. I was on Zillow. If I close it real quick, I'm on Zillow right now, just looking stuff up. But
So did you move out here for the job?
no, so my wife's military.
Okay.
My wife's military, so we've been out here for like 2-3 years.
Yes, she in the Air Force?
Army.
Army, okay.
She's Army. We moved out here about 2-3 years ago. I used to sell cars, and I was like,
Bro,
do something
you
different.
got it, bro.
Yeah, I said
You
when I watched.
You already have everything.
I got put on to you actually from one of my cousins, Freddie. He lives in South Bend, Indiana.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, have you ever heard about?" He knew I was going to real estate. He was like, "Have you ever heard of wholesaling?" I was like, "No." And I was like, "Let me go do some YouTube looking around and figure some stuff out." And I saw your videos, so I've been watching them all the time.
Nah, you sound like you have every thing when it comes into sales. One is just kind of knowing this market, knowing the hot pockets of what's transitioning, and look like some things even coming into the airport.
Yeah.
Some neighborhoods on the left hand, well, the right hand side, if you're leaving the airport, it look like they transitioning.
Yeah, big time.
I see people adding additions. I see a lot of fresh paint on houses, so it looks like the new stuff.
Yeah.
Where's the in this? Is this truly Colorado Springs right here?
This is Colorado Springs, yes, sir.
So
But you go about like 3 miles south, and you start getting this like Fountain, which is another really good area out here.
So it has its hot pockets of like transitioning area and stuff like that.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Especially with this having so much military people coming in and out.
So that's a good issue. That's cool,
Yeah,
man.
the reason I got into it was, to be honest, like I'm a hustler. I grew up a hustler. I started my own business when I was 12 just because I didn't want a whooping type hustler. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard how much houses were going for out here, and seeing the property value and houses go up, I'm like, and I'm seeing what real estate agents can make. I was like, man, I got it.
How far is Denver from here?
All depends on how you drive, but about 45 minutes. 45 minutes to an hour.
And that's essentially what I look at. This is a suburb of Denver.
Yeah, absolutely. They said this is going to be bigger than Denver by 2050
because it's just so much open space.
Exactly. It's still underdeveloped, and that's why I was like, I need to be able to get ahead of this. I need to get my foot in the game, start recognizing stuff before this trend starts growing. And I'm originally from Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
So that's another market I know.
That market's crazy right there.
So I'm from Portland.
That's
my
like
wife's
the new
from
San
Kansas City.
Francisco.
So I go out to Kansas City and look at houses all the time. Like,
so where are you at in your process of like researching wholesale or doing wholesale? Like, where are you at in that process?
To be honest,
Brandon.
as of right now, I'm just like, I need to save up the capital in order to get going into it.
Yeah, I don't think you do. I don't think you do. I don't
Okay.
think you do. That's a misconception. Like I
I
started.
remember you said that in the video. Actually.
Yeah, I started with negative dollars, right? And if you're a hustler, you're a hustler, right? Now I'm not gonna say it don't cost no money to get no deal,
Right.
Right, but you got to be able to put in that research work to kind of understand, you know, what's popping out here, like what's really going on. Like, first you need to find, like, go back and watch some videos. One, I got a video on how to find I think buyers, right?
And that was like you talked about going to like the auctions and be like, hey, you know what, I got a house that actually.
That's one way too, but I also maybe the video may be titled "The Hottest Zip Codes," how to find the hottest zip codes. So do that. It's free.
Okay.
Go to list source, use that filter, do how to do it, and let it tell you what county is Colorado Springs in.
This is El Paso County.
So go to El Paso County, filter it out, find like the matter of fact, let's do it right now. So this is simply, I can remember off the top of my head how to do this. So this is list source, you can log in, but you can do this for free. This is, you don't pay nothing. So I go and I create my own list. And I got a whole video on this too. So I got a screen recorder, so you ain't really gotta take too many notes. So you're going on geography, right? And you're gonna select by county. Is this county huge?
Yeah, El Paso County is big.
So does it have a lot of dead cities in it?
No.
Okay, cool. So we'll just do the whole county, right? So I'm gonna go Colorado.
Like I live about 25 minutes up north, and I'm still El Paso County.
Okay. So we're gonna throw this in here. The numbers should be the numbers. So there's typically 216,000 households in El Paso County, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go there, and then I'm gonna go over to more property, and I'm gonna select the property type, right? So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to find the most recent zip codes with cash sales. That's what I'm looking for, right? So I'm gonna do equity percentage, 99 to 100. I'm gonna add it over there and dropped it down to 12,000. So what I did now is I said I want 99 to 100% equity, right? Townhomes, duplexes, triplex, quads, and single family residence, right? And then I'm gonna go in here and put last market sale date, and I'm just gonna hit the last 12 months. You really can do, let's do the last 9 months. Let's layer it down and see what's really high. So it's 817 sales for cash. But let me, I gotta add one more option. Absentee owned, 200. And then wait, preference, corporate owned. Actually, I want no preference, I want corporate owned in there. So it jumped to 480, right? And this really don't matter, but right? So I'm looking here, and I'm gonna go purchase list. And I'm going here, and I'm gonna do purchase partial list, right? And then I'm gonna go in here and say custom selection by zip code. So with my I should be $14 if I bought that list. It literally lists of buyers.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna do export. I'm gonna have it email it to myself. Submit, right? So now it's gonna send me an email telling me to download this list, and I'm gonna show you what I do real quick. So I'm gonna download this. It's a CB file. I'll just put it on my desktop. And this is how fast I can determine where I want to be at in any area. So I'm gonna sort this whole file from largest to smallest. Yes, I wanted to expand it all the way across. So here goes my hottest zip codes.
I know exactly where that's at.
Right. So I'm gonna look at this stuff right here. So I feel it. So then we can just start looking at zip codes and see what's popping.
It's easy to get sound like this.
$80817.
So that's that one.
Was that what you were just telling me
That's what I
about?
was just saying. So 80817. I used to live down there. I live up here now, but that's where the airport's right there.
So it's right over here.
It's if you literally go out of this thing, you go out, take a left-hand turn, you're 2 miles away from.
So let's look at sold. And then I want to say sold in the last 6 months. Right, still a lot. So crazy, right?
Yeah.
Look at this thing sold. That's probably a rehab. See, these are listed back on the market. I can tell. See, if I go here and look at this, I can tell that's fresh mulch, right? So I'm gonna go look at the sale history.
That was just the other day.
Somebody bought it for $213, sold it for $282. Right, so I can look and you kind of see like what the rehab properties look like. This is like a rehab property too, because of the driveway. Like they repaired a patch. Recently updated, fresh interior, fresh paint. Let's see if this was a 916 sold for 202. 16312. So you see how I can identify. I'm blowing back and looking. This came from public records, so it came off market. There's no real estate attached to it. Off market, he bought it for 220 cash. Put whatever he had into it, sold it for 313. But I would go through here and I would look at the quality of work
being done.
Oh, there, I've seen a few of them, right? So I'm looking at some of the quality of work, and like nothing special. That's laminate. That's vinyl flooring, wood chop block top. So nothing crazy. He got Argana. This is Armana. Appliances package is $1,200. Stove. I mean this, that, and the dishwasher is also. I just know this.
You know stuff, yeah.
But you can see he just basically did a lipstick job.
Hold on a second.
Yeah. So that whole list right there.
Yes, sir.
You gonna do the same thing I just did on that video. I would give it to you, but I want you to do it.
Right. No, I got you.
Yeah. So you can see 33 houses sold in that zip code in the last 9 months, all for cash. 29, 28, 20. So you starting to see. I guarantee you 17 and 18 right next door to each other.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, there's both found Colorado.
See what I'm saying? Yep. So what I'm saying is that simple ain't cost me no money.
Yeah, you have all that information.
Now, anytime I got some off time, first I'm gonna download Deal Machine, which is an app that I can get a 14-day trial, get the most basic subscription once that expires. Don't send no mail.
Right.
Literally go there and take pictures of the houses, because you just seen he bought it for 220.
Yep.
So if you can get it for 210 and sell it for 220, then he gonna make his money and sell it for that 330 or 370.
Yep. I just gotta be able to find them. Yep.
You just drive in your spare time. I take a rental car.
So driving for hours. Yeah, right. Yeah, for real. I gotta take a lunch real quick. I just gotta head down south and get some.
Because it's right here.
Yeah, it's right there.
So you just drive in that whole area, street for street. What I like about Deal Machine, it allows you to track the streets you're in. Right? And when you're tracking, you've already been there.
So you don't have to worry about going through the same thing over and over.
Yeah, you can look at the map and say, okay, I already been here. So you want to cover every single street in that 81819 zip code.
Right.
And find the joints. Find them.
Yeah. They're out there.
So that's what I'm saying. So I ain't said nothing about no money other than gas.
Yeah, true. You said I can use rental cars, so they ain't my gas.
Figure, hey, I'm gonna go get this one, fill this one up. I'll be back in 30.
Yeah.
So that's just a quick game right there, man. So that's why a lot of people get caught up on. They need a lot of education. If you're a hustler, just go out and hustle.
Right. Absolutely.